good evening. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. You have tuned in to Authors Up right here on ALH Broadcasting, and we are glad that you have chosen this time to be with us. It's our favorite place to be on Sunday evenings. We say it every week because it's true. We enjoy being here. We enjoy being with you. We enjoy the authors that we have and the opportunity that we have to share some great books with you. So tonight is no different. We're glad that you will be with us, sharing with us. And let's see, we got everybody. Everybody's home this weekend.
Yay!
Everybody's here. So why don't you two ladies give your greetings for the evening? Ruth, how you doing?
I am okay. How are you?
Battling.
There you go. So no, I am good. I'm glad to be here, and I'm happy to welcome our audience.
Awesome.
Yes, good,
Awesome.
good.
And Victoria, how about you? How you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good today. You and I were texting a little bit, and I said I need a nap, and I got one. Had a short nap. And
You did?
I'm revived now. I feel much better. It is amazing at this age what a nap will do.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome everybody to the well-rested show.
You're revived, and I'm jealous because I nappy. I wanted to get a nap in too.
See, you should have stopped texting me and went lay down.
Well, we're going to start, and since we're picking on each other, Victoria, we'll put you in first. Talk about your weekend review, girl. How was your week? How was your
Let me
week?
tell you, I didn't get as many naps as I needed all week. Kind of tired. That's why I needed a nap today. But my week was fine. Just back and forth to work. I'm not trying to remember. It is pitiful. Sometimes like what happened this week? But nothing major happened. Work is fine, everybody's fine, but there's some shifting going on in my house. And my oldest has moved out, and then my youngest is getting ready to move out.
Oh.
We'll talk about that off camera. But she's moving out as well. And I had a moment this morning, I'm, trying to support and be there for her. And she came in the room this morning and gave me a hug, and I bust out crying. I mean, like, I said, you're moving. I mean, sobbing, crying, like, my baby is leaving me.
What in the world? What do you think? Just had a moment, huh?
I did, but I through it all, though, I have to thank God for these transitions, for watching them become adults and walking into their adult lives and making adult decisions, and and it's the answer to a prayer. So my week, I have just seen God move and seen some answers to some prayers. So I'm just grateful tonight. That's all I'm grateful.
That's good. Seems like this is just the season for the moves, because my week we had little apartment warming for Jasmine.
Yes.
Jasmine moving into her new place, and it was kind of fun. It was fun seeing her excited and a little bit apprehensive, and she's been in a place before, but I think I don't know what's so different about this one for her.
Yeah.
But this is really a deal. It's
good
a deal
for her. Good for her.
It was good to see her excited, and other than that, that's probably the biggest thing that happened. The only other thing that happened for me was, and you all probably can't tell it tonight, but I had nothing better to do than to step on my glasses. So they're doing something very interesting tonight. So if you see me kind of looking a little sideways, that's the reason why.
You got some duct tape on them?
No, I don't. I wish I did. The funny thing about it is I kept putting off taking my new prescription in.
Yeah.
And I finally did it on, I think, Thursday. I went up and, picked out some frames and everything. And Friday morning is when, when I
What in the world, right?
started. Things happen. Timing is what it is. And you just
Mhm.
keep it moving, keep it going, do what you got to do, right?
That's
Exactly.
right.
Well,
That's
okay.
it. And let's see. Ruth, we talked to you already?
Nope.
No,
She's last but not certainly not least.
No, huh?
no, no, no. I just said I was okay earlier. It's my turn.
Yeah, I thought
No,
I miss you.
she was
What
last.
happened with your week, Miss Ruth?
My week was spent in bed. I had this case
Oh,
of vertigo.
oh
And
no.
I couldn't tell you where it came from, and it hit me one morning, and it was like, nope, we are staying in bed
Vertigo.
today. Hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, no, it's when you try to get up and the room is spinning, literally.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it felt like. Yeah, so I spent like 2 days in bed, and I will say that first day, nothing got done. The next day, I had to move from the bed to the couch. Um, I didn't walk. I didn't get as far, but I did get some editing and some graphic design done. So it was productive in that sense. But it was just, it hits you, and there's nothing you can do for it. You know.
Right. You didn't have an ear infection or anything?
Mm-mm,
Oh wow. That's
mm-mm.
weird.
Now I will say, while that was happening, the cough stopped. But as soon as the vertigo went away, the cough came back.
Ay,
So.
ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay.
I feel like I'm a walking basket case where I just like, if
Oh,
it's not one thing, it's another. And it's just like, come on. I don't feel like I'm usually this sick.
right. You
And
haven't
it's
been
just,
sick.
no, I haven't. I really haven't. I
Yeah.
think it's like 2, maybe 3 years ago where I was hit all at once. And then it was just like, okay, I'm good for now. And then since like Christmas, it's just, I've been boom, 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 boom. So, I'm hoping this cough will go away, so you might see me on mute. Um,
Yes. Yes, we understand.
for yes, yes, yes. So I'm
Mhm.
I'm eating cough drops like they're candy, um, and I'm hoping that maybe next week I will have better news to share. So
Okay. All
We
right.
hope so too. We hope
Well,
you
we're
do
glad you're okay and that you're with us tonight. We
better.
thank
understand.
thank you. Yes, yes. So, but
Well,
I think that brings us to tonight.
we have a very uh, wonderful lady with us tonight. And we're excited about her. We're excited about her
Yeah.
being here. We're excited about her being able to share her book with us this evening. But Victoria, why don't you tell us a little bit more about her?
Okay, I surely will. Sue William Silverman is an award winning author known for her fearless explorations of trauma, identity, and personal transformation. Her latest book, Selected Misdemeanors Essays at the Mercy of the Reader, showcase her signature blend of lyricism, insight, and unflinching honesty. Her previous titles include Acetylene Torch Songs, Writing True Stories to Ignite the Soul, winner of the IPPY Silver Award, and a finalist for 2 Forward Indie Book of the Year awards in the self help and reference categories. She is also the author of How to Survive Death and Other Inconveniences, which received the Gold Forward Indie Book of the Year award and the Clara Johnson Award for Women's Literature. Earlier works include Lovesick, One Woman's Journey Through Sexual Addiction, adapted into a Lifetime movie, Because I Remember Terror, Father, I Remember You, which was a winner of the AWP Award for Creative Nonfiction, and the Pat Boone Fan Club My Life as a White Anglo-Saxon Jew. Ms. Silverman also co-chairs the MFA in Writing program at Vermont College of Fine Arts and is a frequent guest in national media. Her appearances include The View, Anderson Cooper 360, and PBS Books. Well, after the break, you will get to meet the phenomenal Sue Silverman. So we'll be right back. We're excited.
Welcome, Sue.
Yay!
Welcome,
Hi.
welcome. Snaps, snaps.
Thank you for joining us tonight on Authors Up.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great to meet all of you. Thank you.
Of course. All right, with a title like Selected Misdemeanors and described on your website as unapologetic word grenades lobbed into an otherwise complacent forgetfulness. Tell us about your book, please.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I should start, though, by saying that the misdemeanors are really emotional misdemeanors. They're not crimes in the legal sense. I've never spent time in jail. So just to put everybody at
Yes.
rest there. But they are really, a lot of them are about inappropriate relationships with men and making like really poor choices. Like once I lived in Galveston, Texas for a while, and I was alone one night, married but alone and drunk, and I decided I'm going to get a divorce, which is not a good time to make a big life decision like that. And but it's really about kind of truth telling. And a lot of times people are maybe in denial or don't really want to face what they've done in their lives, and or try to maybe sort of sugarcoat their stories. And I'm really about kind of stripping away all that sugarcoating and kind of lobbing like a grenade into our society. We can be rather complacent at times and sort of look the other way. And I don't think that that's really emotionally healthy. I think it's better just to tell your truth, and which is one reason why I write creative nonfiction. Now, in this particular book, there's sort of the tension of the book is myself as narrator. On one level, I really yearn for like comfort and a sense of home, like I'm seeking something that's stable. But then this other part of me really kind of betrays that, sort of sabotages my attempts to seek kind of safety and home. So these two sides of me are sort of at war. And that's kind of the major kind of exploration that goes on in the book. On the one hand, I really do want to find stability, but part of me, sort of this, you mentioned my book, Lovesick, about sex addiction. I write some about that in this book as well, is sort of fighting that. And so it's sort of like this internal battle in a way.
All right, so let me ask this. It wasn't on my question, but as you look back, number one, what inspired you to tell your story the way you did? And number two, as you look back, do you look back with regrets? Do you look back and go, okay, this is something that someone else might be impacted by, or is it just, I need to get this off my chest?
I can't say I regret anything, because everything that's happened has made me who I am, and I have to kind of, and I accept that. I like that I'm a writer and that I'm able to write my story. Why did, I guess the question maybe is, why did I write this one in sort of flash? Because I guess I should say that this book is a collection. There's 71 flash essays, and flash just means they're short. Most of them are very short.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I went in that direction with this book because my earlier books, they tend to have longer narratives, like a longer narrative arc. And that's fine, you know, obviously to write that way. But I sort of came to the realization that, yes, there are these big life events that we write about, like, say, Lovesick, 28 days that I spent in rehab. There are these big life events. But when you think about it, most of life kind of happens in these smaller sort of moments between these big events.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's sort of, how do we gain insight into our lives in these sort of flashes of time? I think of them as sort of quick shimmering epiphanies. And I never really explored those sort of in between times. And that's what I wanted to do in this book, so that each narrative is short, but hopefully revelatory, and is kind of this intense and focused look at, you know, really what it means to be human.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. What it means to be human.
Yeah.
All right. So, how'd you come to your title?
Well, this was probably like the 5th or 6th title that the book went through. You know, you have working titles, right? At one point, it was called Against Ruin, and I can't remember any of the other titles. I wish I could. But Selected Misdemeanors sort of was a title that could kind of encapsulate the whole, and that it wasn't like this one big misdemeanor, or that. But it sort of could represent this idea of, like, that I'm selecting of the ones that are maybe most pointed, and just kind of be a little catchy, maybe, that people are going to wonder, well, what are these misdemeanors? You know, you want to sort of tease the audience or the readers a little bit, but also the idea. But to kind of also play with the idea of misdemeanors, because what is a misdemeanor, you know? And I'm all over the place within the book as to what that might mean, either from, you know, inappropriate relationships, or at one point I let this poor little goldfish that's on the cover of the book. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little upside down goldfish, which means that this poor little goldfish died, and he died because I forgot to feed him. I was going through a bad time. So I mean, so there's just this sort of whole range of, well, what are misdemeanors? So what are the things that we've done that, you know, not that we necessarily regret, but that, you know, we can feel bad about them, and you know, maybe wish we had made better choices, but did the best we could at the time.
Right.
And the subtitle, Essays at the Mercy of the Readers, that I'm kind of, okay, here are my misdemeanors, all 71 of them. Can you read them and sort of still feel like some compassion for me? So I'm putting myself at your mercy.
I like it. I have to say that is what caught my attention when Shirley sent it to me, and I was like, oh no, I have to look at this. So, yes, it worked. It worked.
Thank you.
Writing aside as a career, would you say that it's cathartic for you?
It's in some ways, yes, but maybe, but more in the way that it brings me to a place of understanding. And that's what's really important to me as a writer. And so if coming to understand yourself is cathartic, then yes. And I think on some level that's true, that it is, because before, well, like this essay with this poor little goldfish, sort of the background of that is that I had a boyfriend. He was going off to boot camp, and I loved him, but he really didn't love me, and I really wanted to marry him, and I knew he wasn't going to love me, and he went off to boot camp. One of my misdemeanors in this essay is that I had an affair with his roommate. That was not a healthy choice to make. And I also bought this goldfish when my boyfriend went away as sort of as company. So I had this affair with the roommate, and he broke up with me. And that's when I was so distraught that I forgot to feed my goldfish and he died. So, but at the beginning, when I started writing the essay, sort of the goldfish was just a goldfish. And I didn't, it just, I bought a goldfish. But then it was through the writing process and describing how this poor little goldfish died and everything that I came to understand that this goldfish really is a metaphor for kind of loss of love and kind of loneliness and alienation. This one little goldfish swimming around this little glass bowl, and then he dies. I mean, it's sort of funny now, but it's not, but not really funny. But and so writing that is a way to sort of dig deep and understand myself better. And that's true really for all of the essays in the book, that it's through the writing. It's kind of like being a private detective and investigating your own life, though, trying to understand what, these things happened to me. What did they mean? The only way I learn what they mean is through the writing process. So in that sense, I could use the word cathartic in that it's a way to understand the self.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Can I jump in for 1 minute? Can I jump in for when you talk about the misdemeanor, you didn't start your essays calling yourself misdemeanor. It sort of just came. What changed, or what made you? What changed that you went in that direction? Because the first couple of essays, first few, don't say that.
No, you're right. So I should say that part of this book has, I think there are 13 photo essays. And this is, let me see if I can find one. So this is how the photo essays are set up, if you can see. So the photo is on one page, and then this is like the long title for the essay. And then the essay itself are just these 3 little lines. So it's only the photo essays where I call myself MISS, misdemeanor.
Yes.
Now, for the first, 3 years of working on this book, I just called myself the girl. I wanted to sort of not just be I. So I wanted to sort of have a little narrative or emotional distance. So it was just the girl. Right. And really, it was towards the end of working on this book where I thought, I don't know if I want to call her the girl. And it's just like this idea of misdemeanor just kind of fell out of nowhere. I mean, it doesn't fall out of nowhere because I've been, you're working on a book for years. And so you're getting deeper and deeper into the material. Right. But I really didn't come to that sort of epiphany until really late in the process. And then it just seemed to sort of fit because it's sort of ironic. And the book, there's some sad parts of the book. There's some hopefully sort of funny, but more than anything, it's kind of ironic. And so to call for me as narrator to sort of call myself my sort of alter ego, misdemeanor. Yes. And then it set the photo essays kind of, there's both a through thread in that they help hold the whole book together, but it also sets them aside a little bit, as their own, like this is just a photo essay. Like the photographs don't refer to any other essay in the book.
Right.
They just, they're an entity unto themselves.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ruth.
No, actually, good. I was going to turn it over to Andrea.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, I wanted to follow up and ask you, because you were saying about the time. How long did it take you to write this one?
So it took. I mean, I didn't work on it straight through. Victoria mentioned this craft book that I wrote, Settling Towards Songs. And I was kind of working on both of them at the same time a little bit, kind of going back and forth. When I maybe sort of hit a stumbling block with one, I would work on the other. So I don't have like one clear time frame, but I would say altogether, probably about maybe close to 4 years, something like that.
Wow.
Which is pretty typical. Most of my books take about 4 or 5 years. It's a long process.
And you were telling us also before we went on the air, we were talking about different, I guess you could say, writing styles, and and yours is to kind of, I guess it sounds odd, but kind of go with the flow. We talk about it in terms of sometimes you have that outline and that structure, like Ruth likes to write by structure, and
Yep.
I tend to let the characters write the book. So I don't always know what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the way I am as well. I mean, even though I'm writing about myself, and
Mhm.
obviously I sort of factually kind of know what happened, emotionally I don't know what happened. And so that's what I kind of follow. That's the kind of the thread that I follow to better understand, like, like with this goldfish, initially it was just a goldfish, but only through the writing did I come to understand that it was a metaphor. And then, it's sort of discovering like the metaphors of my life. Every essay has sort of its own kind of metaphors, and I really like the sort of that discovery process. I think of it sort of as following a whisper. Like, I don't really know where this essay is going to go. Where's it really going to end up? What is the ending actually going to mean? And sort of following that is what kind of holds my attention as a writer. Because, like, really, if I could sit here and tell you, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to write, and this is what's going to happen, then it's almost like, for me, why bother writing it? I need that sort of mystery, that uncertainty. And that's really what propels me forwards, to understand kind of who I am.
So it's interesting too that, and one of the things that I like about our opportunity to talk to authors is to really get I'm not going to say a different perspective, but I will say a better understanding of how and why, uh, how you crafted what you did and why you crafted it that way.
Mhm.
I didn't think about it in terms of the fact that this is life. Life is not
Mhm.
a long narrative. Life is a little bit at a time, piece at a time. So now when I go back and reread, I will have a different perspective, on some of the shorter pieces and the shorter essays that you have in the book.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty neat, Miss Sue. I like it.
Well, thank you. I love to hear that. Yeah,
Yeah,
because some of the essays, they take place just like in a moment, in this flash of
yeah.
time.
Mhm.
And you don't want those flashes of time just to be lost because something bigger was happening. I mean, those short flashes really do convey that sort of intensity,
Mhm.
as I say, of what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And and then the other thing, just sort of as I evolved as a writer, like my first two memoirs are these, or my first two books are these long memoirs that maybe 250 pages, something like that. And I really had not written many very short pieces. So, I think we evolve as writers as well.
Yes.
And I needed a new challenge. And I thought, well, I've never really written like really short, brief pieces. And can I do it? I mean, like, I didn't even know if I could do it. Or if I could do like two and that was going to be the end of it. But once I got going, I really sort of got into it, and it was kind of it was, even if I'm writing something that's sort of tough material, it was still sort of fun to see how you can contain a slice of a life in this tiny little box, in a way, because that's sort of what a piece of flash is. It's like, has a small container out, the small container that's this exterior container, but then you open it up and there's life.
Right.
There's a slice
Right.
of life, and it's just this tiny little slice, so small container, but it can contain sort of this big kind of a world, in a way, if you're writing kind of metaphorically.
Mhm.
And,
Well,
and
while you're opening up some things, we want you to open up that book and read something to us tonight. Just whatever essay you want to read from would be great. Uh,
Thank you.
just just share a piece of it.
Okay, so this essay is called Harbor Lights. Gravel grits my sweaty palms. My older sister and I walk on our hands outside the gate of our house atop Blackbeard's Hill on St. Thomas. The contest is to see who first reaches the mostly ruined Blackbeard's castle. Once I cross a limestone road, my hands tangle in overgrown weeds and fever grass. My upside down sister wears khaki shorts and a wrinkled white shirt. I wear red, white, and blue checked shorts and a color coordinated halter top. This tomboy sister of mine is winning, as always. I only agree to her challenge so she will play with me. Otherwise, she is off someplace as far as the island allows. My arms tire, I stagger, taking a few wobbly handstands to rebalance. I no longer see my sister, but I hear her ahead rustling the weeds, sweat runnels up, down, my arms to my neck. Although I'm no longer on the road, one palm lands on a sharp sliver of limestone. My arms collapse as my sister reaches the rusty door of the castle. I won, she yells, triumphant, now standing over me. I want to ask her to take my hand, help me stand. I don't because she won't. She either pretends she doesn't love me or really doesn't. There's probably a difference. I look up at her. Her face is lost in a sheen of tropical light. A drop of her sweat lands on me, warm and salty as the sea, yet feels as distant as the horizon. I'm going to the marina, she adds, tucking her shirt into the waistband of her shorts. At the marina, she will climb the rigging of a ship or play on the trampoline. I myself once tried jumping on the trampoline, but it scared me. I was convinced that with one wild tumble, I would pitch into the Caribbean. She is the one to jump, bounce, run, climb, flee, walk upside down to outdistance me, leave me behind. Later that evening, alone, I rest my elbows on the still warm railing on the veranda. A trace of trade winds cools my sweaty arms. The sea and sky merge into blackness. Lights on ships moored in the harbor, reflecting in the water, are solitary stars tumbled from the sky. Does she love me or doesn't she? By the time we are grown, I still won't know. She remains a light falling, rising beyond my wishes, outside my knowledge, beyond my grasp. Thank you.
Oh,
Mercy.
love that.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you. So, writing that, my sister and I, as you can tell, I really, growing up, I just worshiped her. I just loved her, and she would have nothing to do with me. And we still aren't close. If you asked her, yes, she'd say, sure, she loves me, but she doesn't really know how to show it. And so writing this essay, I didn't know how to sort of convey that, because if I just said it like that, it's sort of like, well, your therapist might care, but nobody else is going to care. But by sort of coming up with this idea of the upside down sister of walking on our hands,
Yes.
which we used to play a lot, is so the upside down sister is also kind of a metaphor for this upside down love, because she doesn't love me the way I wanted to be loved. And so, being able to write that was sort of, I was able to kind of better understand what was wrong. And it's really like the whole relationship was just upside down.
wow. It's like your little goldfish there.
Yeah, a lot of upside down things in my life.
Upside down things for all of us. I tell you, It really makes you think, Sue. It really does. It really does. Victoria, I'm going to turn it over to you because our time will get away from us,
Yes.
and you will not have had an opportunity. So please take it from here.
All right. Well, Sue, I found your book. I'm going to say my famous get the book, get the book, get the book. I find that your writing is very poignant, raw, it's soul searching. And you're very transparent in the things that you write about. How has your book been received by, let's say, family and friends?
So I mean, I don't know if my sister reads any of my books. I mean,
Okay.
we really are that distant. So she never
Okay.
tells me. But yes, but my friends and colleagues, where I teach at Vermont College of Fine Arts. So the students, I've gotten really very positive response, and I think that
Good.
they are showing me mercy,
Ah,
which is what I wanted. So yeah, I mean the reaction, and just from, of course, strangers, yes, the reaction really has been very positive, and
good.
so yeah, that makes me feel like I haven't gotten any hate mail or anything. So
Well,
that's good.
good, because you absolutely tell it all. But in I like the way that you did it in the essays. But you certainly don't skip on the details.
Mhm.
And it's just I don't know if I would be able to do so with such
Oh,
openness as you have. So it has certainly touched me. Now
thank
you
you.
you wrote something, so I'm gonna go a little deep here on this. You wrote something in one of the misdemeanors, and it's just a line. Well, I'll read the whole little line. It says, "Furniture, sparse, room, barren as her heart, a sailboat in the desert." When I say I've written myself a little dissertation on that, when you think a sailboat in the desert, first of all, I'm going to read to you what I got from it. A sailboat is in the wrong place, right? And being in the wrong place, you're looked at strangely by others. You feel alone, and you feel not needed. Ah,
That's it.
I'm trying not to cry, but it
Oh.
just touched something in me to describe yourself as that. So what were you feeling when you wrote something as that? Because you see the feelings that it touched in me, and I'm just so that's what good writing does. And I was so just impressed by that. So talk about that a little bit, so I'll be quiet.
Okay. First of all, thank you. I mean, what you say really touches me. And so the photograph is of this sort of barren room with this
Mhm.
a picture hanging on the wall of a sailboat. And it's in the actual picture is in the boat's in water, but the room itself is in Israel. I was working on a kibbutz in Israel for about 5 months at one point. So, which is, we were in the desert. And
Mhm.
so, and I went to Israel kind of, be, I mean, I'm Jewish, so that's a reason, but I can't say, I was just really lost at that time. And I was sort of searching for myself. And, and so, was I looking for my Jewish roots? Maybe, but did I find them? No. I mean, I just spent so much of my time lost and sort of like a sailboat in the desert, like out of place, because I wanted to see if I felt kind of at home in Israel. And I
Right.
mean, I love the country, don't get me wrong, but it's not me. It wasn't. I mean, I wasn't going to move there and live there, and I just have spent most of my life, what I said at the beginning, that this book is sort of about the search for home, right?
Mhm.
And so that was one of the places where I searched for home. So I searched for home in places or with people. And, right now, I think I do have a sense of home, but it's been a long journey to get there. It's been like sort of a ship sailing through the desert to try to find that sense of home.
Yes.
So that's sort of like the meaning behind uh, that essay.
Oh, I absolutely love that, because I think it touched something in me, as I navigate. a new normal in my life, like with my kids leaving and still post divorce and all that stuff. I don't know. But okay. I'm gonna flip it to something a little bit less emotional. I absolutely love how you write about your love of movies throughout the book.
Yes.
And how you have identified with the characters in the movies. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, particularly growing up, again, a search for home, a search for like belonging. So I would look, like at a movie. The three that I write about in the that second essay is they're old movies. Sundays in Sabelle, um, the what's the one about Adele H. The story of Adele H., who is Victor Hugo's daughter, and then the Lace Maker. There are about three women protagonists who um, all come to a very sad end, and they've sort of pursued relationships that have completely not worked out at all. And I really just identified with these three women who sort of really gave themselves over to love,
Mm-hmm.
but then they were betrayed by men or circumstance. And so even though they're sad and the women came to bad ends, I just so identified with them that I kind of fell in love with them. And because I just identified with them so strongly. So, and I would do that just with movies time and again. Also, I can say I'm just a really obsessive person. And
Mm-hmm.
like these 71 essays are all about one of my obsessions. um, because what else do we have to write about really but our obsessions? So yeah, I'm obsessed with movies. I mean, not all movies, but certain movies. I really do become obsessed with them.
I love it. I absolutely love that. And I guess my last question is going to be, when readers close the book, what is the message that you had hoped that you would leave with anyone who picks up this book? Because I think anyone will find something good in this book. So what did you hope?
I think that we can see ourselves better as humans, that we all make mistakes. We all
Yeah.
have our own sort of misdemeanors, regardless of what kind they are, what they look like. We all make mistakes. We all make sort of poor choices, but we're still human, and that's why we
Yes.
do it. And we're still, I think, are worthy of love and compassion and empathy. It's sort of a way of kind of reaching out to other readers. They almost like, look, I made these mistakes. I know you made some mistakes, but we really can still care about each other.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I thank you for writing, for being so open and honest about your life. And that was very brave.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
brave. And I
Yeah.
hope that for you, it has um, settled something within yourself. That you're in a good place now. And have you found love, or do you still believe in love?
Oh, I do. I do. Yeah. Yes, I'm with somebody who
Woo!
is.
Woo!
Ah,
Okay, all right. Now we get to the good stuff. Okay.
for you,
Yeah.
good for
Yeah.
you. Good for you.
Yeah. So I am in a good place right now. It took a
Oh,
while, but
that's all
I got
right.
there. So yeah,
That's all right. There's hope for me. There's hope.
there is,
That's what you're
Victoria. There
giving
is
me tonight.
hope.
You're giving me hope. So thank you. Would
Yeah.
you tell our listeners and our viewers where they could get in touch with you and where they could get your beautiful book?
Sure, absolutely. So my website is my whole name, SueWilliamSilverman.com. And so you can find my contact information there. And I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. So, and the book is available really, on Amazon, bookshop.org, University of Nebraska Press, basically wherever books are sold, and your local bookstore. If you have one, if they don't have it, they'd be happy to order it for you. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. My hat.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. This has been a delight for us. I hope you have enjoyed yourself, Sue, because
Totally. No, I could talk to you all for another hour.
Right, right.
we really, really do appreciate the insight and all of the things that Victoria was saying tonight. We definitely stand in agreement with that, including get the book. Yes, we encourage everybody to get the book. But we appreciate you being here. We thank all of our listeners and viewers for being with us tonight. Serena, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Lynn, thank you for being here. And I know there are others on the line that hide in the background sometimes on Sunday nights, but we appreciate you as well. We thank you all for being here and for being with us.
Yes.
If you are interested in finding out more about Authors Up, if you are interested in and have written a book and you want to share, be sure that you get in touch with us. You can find us anywhere under AuthorsUpShow.com. Woo! I got it right. Okay. Just go there. We've got blogs there. We've got information there and all things author related. So be sure that you check out the website and, let us know how you're enjoying the programs. Let us know if there's a particular author that you would like for us to try to reach out to and have on the show and find out more about them. So that is it. That is it for us for tonight. Sue, you have made it an enjoyable evening for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here and next week, I think we have a new another guest next week, and we're looking forward to that individual. We always say that you never, ever know what is going to happen when you tune into Authors Up. This was a quiet night tonight. Any bloopers, no frozen screens. We didn't have.
Thank you, God.
So all was well. We thank you all for being here. Thank you again, Sue. Just can't thank you enough for your candidness and for your openness.
Well, thank you so much. Really, it's been wonderful.
Oh, good. That is it. You guys have an absolutely amazing week. Enjoy every moment of your journey. And we will be back here on Sunday night. On Saturday, this show, this particular segment of Authors Up will be replayed on Saturday at 7 p.m. So if you missed any part of it tonight, or someone that would be inspired by Sue's journey, be sure to tune in on Saturday night at 7, and we will be right back on Sunday evening at 7 with a brand new program, a brand new author, and a brand new book for you. So that is all we have. Enjoy your week, and we will see you hopefully next Sunday, 7 p.m. right here on Authors Up.
Good night. Good night, Bronze Girls.
Good night.